Should you consider wearing a uniform? Well, I have a series of questions for you. And there is no wrong and there is no right answer. But at the end, it might open your thoughts up to perhaps maybe you should wear a uniform or at least consider it. And let me say, if you decide to create a uniform, the cool thing is that you're in charge. There is no right. As I said, there is no wrong. You might want to go down the classic approach. You might want to go down a bohemian theme. It's all up to you. The number of pieces that you put into your wardrobe, again, it's all up to you. There's no rules, no regulations. It's just a mindset that I think it's really, really worth exploring. So let's roll. So question number one. Do you buy items of clothing that are on sale? And how often do you do that? Do you wait for the sales? And I know that depends on what part of the world you're in, but some countries have sales at certain times of the year. But regardless, do you wait for a sale or do you buy items in a sale? Now, the question I pose to you, would you wear or would you buy those items at full price? Because you see, are you buying it because it's reduced and you got caught up in that mindset? Or have you been eyeing that piece of clothing and you think, right now I'll buy it? And well, again, no right or wrong answer, just an observation from someone who has been there and done that and has changed my outlook on the whole thing. Now, the second question is, do you wear clothing that makes you feel comfortable or uncomfortable? You know, there's nothing worse than coming home of a day and having to just wanting to take off all your clothing because you just don't feel comfortable. It normally happens with your shoes, but it can also happen with a skirt that's too tight or a pair of trousers that are too long, or in my case, always too short. So when you are putting together your wardrobe, if you decide to do that and your uniform, make sure that the clothing is comfortable. Not sloppy, because you know me by now, I'm not into slop, but comfortable. That's the second point. So the next point is, do you keep clothing because someday it'll come back into fashion? You know, history repeats itself, and as we all know it does, and fashion repeats itself. But somewhere on that item, there's a twist, a modern twist. And so unless, of course, you like wearing items that are vintage, I would rethink that mindset and get rid of it or not. Just a question with an answer. Only you can answer. Which kindly leads me to, I have to keep these jeans. I've seen it happen all the time with jeans because someday I will be able to fit into them. And then I won't have to buy a new pair. And that's my motivation. I look at those jeans and someday I will be able to get into them, which I understand that theory. But if those jeans are tucked in your closet, in the back in some closet, how would you know that they're there and how can they be motivation? I think it might be a good idea, and you tell me what you think, to maybe hang them on the refrigerator door. But to take space up in your closet and your mind, not a good idea. So far, have you enjoyed this? If you have, please give it the thumbs up. Tally ho. Let's go on to the next one. This one here, I was so guilty of, so guilty of. I would buy a piece of clothing, an item that was expensive. And I probably should not have purchased. But because it was expensive, I wore it. I didn't like it. I bought it because it was expensive. It was a deal. And I think that happens more often than not. We wear an item because it's expensive and we feel obligated to this piece of clothing. Or the other alternative is that somebody gives you something, an item of clothing that you really don't like, but you wear it because it was a gift. And so if you can avoid that concept, it will free up your closet. That's what this is all about. Free up your closet, free up your mind. And better yet, do you wear clothing? Again, there's no right, there's no wrong answer, but that is faded, scruffy, torn, just because you've had it for a long time. Maybe it has memories. Maybe you feel comfortable in it, which is okay. One piece, two pieces like that. But to align yourself with faded, ripped clothing, well, do you really want to present that image firstly to yourself and then to the world? Its answer is yours. There is no right. There is no wrong. These are just questions that I'm posing to you. Now, have you enjoyed this so far? Please share it with your friends. I would really love to help more people just in the mindset of, should you consider wearing a wardrobe? You see, my concept of living a simple life, my minimalist life, is to pare down all the things that are just there and to surround myself with things that I love. As you can see, I'm a fan of books. I'm not a fan of shoes, but if that is your joy, shoes, well, who am I to say yes or no to what gives you pleasure? I'm just pose these questions to give you a signal. Am I trapped in a rut? And so just to think about maybe an alternative. And with that in mind, each Friday I will be presenting you with a minimalist tip, something that you could implement into your life, your lifestyle, that might help you in a positive way. That's what the whole thing is all about. You might say, Carolyn, this is total rubbish. On the other side of the coin, you might, I'm hoping, implement these ideas and these concepts. And that's it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment box below. Share this video, please. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. And until Friday, I wish everyone a good day. Stay safe. Toodles.